This week, I fly to an airport where the only other planes are crashed at the side of the runway, debate the logistics of bringing the puffin as a carry-on, and take on one of America's most dangerous landings as I head deep into the Aleutian Islands to find out what it's really like to land at the edge of the world. I've just arrived in Anchorage, Alaska, and I'm about to kick off a 10-day aviation adventure here all around the state. We're kicking things off today with a flight across to what I've heard is one of the most dangerous airports in the whole of America. So I'm flying today with an airline called Aleutian Airways, who fly Saab 2000. Super cool. I ought to be flying with these guys, really, aren't I? ConocoPhillips Air. Hello, how are you? To check in, please, for Dutch Harbour. I was wondering if I could. I don't know if you guys do pre-check up here or not.
We don't have security.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Saves me having to have pre-check up.
Let's get away over your turn.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
A15, be down there by 2:30.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And it's just down this way.
Escalators and straight back.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Amazing, then all checked in for my flight. No security apparently with Aleutian Airways. I've just been sent down to the baggage claim, which is a little bit strange. Things work a bit differently up here, I guess. But yeah, we're off to Dutch Harbour today, down in the Aleutian Islands. It's a place called Unalaska Dutch Harbour Airport, I think it is, something like that. Anyway, it's about a 2.5 hour ride today on a Saab 2000, which I'm super looking forward to, actually. I haven't been on one of these for so many years. So with no security to worry about, I headed straight down to the gate where there wasn't really a lot to do, apart from a little bit of plane spotting. And boy, is it great for that here in Anchorage. It's a massive cargo hub, so there's a ton of 747s going in and out, as well as some smaller birds too. But this one though, well, this was probably the highlight of the entire day, to be honest. Eventually though, my ride across to Dutch Harbour arrived, this beautiful Saab 2000, and what an amazing livery this aircraft's got. Alright then, my ride to Dutch Harbour has just turned up. It's a Saab 2000, it's the 5th Saab 2000 that was ever built. It's the oldest one that's still flying, and it's up here in Alaska. Very long history on this one. It was delivered to Crossair originally in Switzerland back in the early 90s. It flew there for a bit. It's been all over the world flying with different airlines, but now it's up here in Alaska for her last days on planet Earth as a passenger airliner. Now when I travel internationally, I want to know that I'll be connected the moment that I land. No fiddling with SIM cards, no dodgy airport Wi-Fi. That's why I use Saily, a digital eSIM that you can install before you even leave home. You just pick your plan in the app and you're good to go. Honestly, it takes about 2 minutes to set up and then it just works. Whether I'm filming halfway around the world or trying to upload a video from a sketchy hotel, I've got internet sorted before I even board the plane. Using Saily couldn't be easier. You just download the app, install the eSIM on your phone and then choose your plan and you're good to go. If you're heading abroad soon or just want a reliable backup on your next adventure, well, download the Saily app and get it installed. Use my code Noel Phillips at checkout and you'll get 15% off any plan. Saily keeps you connected so you can focus on the fun stuff like flying into tiny airports with puffin-themed carry-ons. And well, speaking of that, it was soon time to board, but before boarding I spotted this sign, and for a brief, glorious moment I thought that I actually could have brought my emotional support puffin on board. But puffin or no puffin, it was time to wing it to Dutch Harbour. Thank you. It might have been throwing it down with rain in Alaska, but honestly, walking to this beautiful liveried plane, well, it made it all worthwhile. Welcome on board Aleutian Airways Saab 2000. Not many of these things still flying these days. As I mentioned before, this is the oldest passenger one that's still flying. Very long flight. I'm in seat 12A in a 1-2 configuration. As you can see, I booked myself seat 3A, but I think they've shuffled it all around for like weight and balance and stuff. I don't know. I ended up in 12A, but it's still not bad. We've got a nice view out the window there. Hopefully a nice, smooth flight. So then engines fired up, doors closed, and we are ready to go. As we taxied out to the runway, I couldn't help but wonder what lay ahead. Storms, mountains, puffins. Either way, Dutch Harbour, here we come. My route today then took me west out of Anchorage down the Aleutian chain of islands to Dutch Harbour. Flight time today was 2 hours and 9 minutes, cruising at 30,000 feet. Alright then, we are airborne from Anchorage, heading west along the Aleutian Peninsula, heading all the way down to Dutch Harbour. Now, Dutch Harbour is one of the most dangerous airports in the world. Several reasons for that. I mean, just look at where it is. Nestled on a remote island chain in Alaska's Aleutian Islands, surrounded by steep volcanic mountains that jut dramatically out of the sea. There's no flat land for miles except for this tiny sliver where they managed to wedge in a runway. Now imagine flying in here, you've got brutal winds coming straight out of the Bering Sea, unpredictable fog, and a runway that basically starts at the base of a cliff and ends in the ocean. Pilots don't just land here, they thread a needle. There's a sharp turn right before touchdown, and there's very little room for error. It's beautiful, it's remote, and it's one of the hardest commercial landings in America. I do feel pretty safe though. I am on a Saab 2000, which is one of the safest planes in the world. It's only ever had one fatal accident, which just so happened to be on this very flight with this very airline heading to this very airport.
It's time for the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
It is indeed. This is the Lou review of the Saab 2000 with Aleutian Airways. It's very cramped, very crowded. It's right up here at the front by the cockpit. I can spin around. We have a handle. We have a bowl full of Purell wipes, and it's a loo with a view. Look at that view as well. What a view. There's a cup holder just there, toilet roll, and of course the loo down there with a push to flush as well. It's very tiny and very cramped, especially when you're 6'5" tall like I am. You get a bit of a crick neck.
That was the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
Aleutian Airways might sound like a new airline, but its roots go way back. It was born from the remains of Penn Air, a long-time Alaskan regional carrier that flew these routes for decades. In 2019, a Penn Air Saab 2000 tragically crashed while landing here in Dutch Harbour, fatally injuring one passenger and seriously injuring several others. That crash raised serious questions about safety on these remote island routes. After Penn Air folded and its parent company Raven collapsed during the pandemic, a group of aviation veterans stepped in to rebuild it. With new funding, a fresh safety-first approach and a familiar mission, Aleutian Airways was founded, flying many of the same routes but with a promise to do things differently. And we have begun our descent down into Dutch Harbour. I am kind of excited and a little bit nervous for this landing, knowing what this airport is like. Fingers crossed we get in first time. Who knows? With this place, the weather could be doing anything. They reckon it's cloudy when we land, so I don't know. We may get in, we may not. We'll have to figure it out, won't we? All I know is I'm strapped in for the approach in London, and I am super excited to see what's down there. And so I'm safely strapped in, tray table stowed and eyes glued to the window because I've been looking forward to this moment for years. The safety card's been studied, the nearest exits have been located, and now it's just me, a few passengers and a Saab 2000. Oh, and some of the most jaw-dropping scenery on planet Earth. As we weave our way through the Aleutian Islands, you can really see how remote this place is. Rugged mountains, crashing waves, and barely a hint of civilization. It's wild, it's raw, and it's absolutely stunning. And somewhere down there, tucked in between the cliffs and the sea, is one of America's most challenging runways. Let's just hope the pilots are having a good day. So touchdown complete, and somehow we're on the ground in one piece. As we taxied in, we're welcomed to Unalaska, officially America's #1 fishing port. Not exactly a typical airport arrival, but that's what makes it so special out here. Thank you, see ya. Stepping off the plane, it's a short walk into the terminal, which, let's be honest, is basically a glorified shed with a baggage belt. But hey, it does the job. Welcome to Dutch Harbour. Look where we have just landed. Does this look like the most dangerous airport in the... Oh, it kind of... Hang on. Right, there is 2 planes over there that's crashed. I genuinely didn't even know they were there. That is funny. Right, so there's the runway over there. As you can see, you sort of come in the way we did from that way. I don't think you can land from the other direction because there's all like mountains and stuff there. But this this is insanely beautiful. What an absolutely incredible place. When the sun's shining, I'm imagining when the weather's a bit dicier, it's not quite as nice. But those planes over there are probably part of the reason why it's quite dangerous here. They're just casually, there's just two crashed planes casually at the side of the runway. Love it. So I'm not sure what there is in the way of taxis and stuff here. So I'm just going to walk to my hotel. I think it's about a 20-minute walk into town. It's a nice day anyway. If it was like snowing or something, then I might have to have second thoughts, but it's a beautiful part of the world. Let's get some fresh air and have a wander. It's hard to sort of imagine how far sort of northwest we are in America at the moment. If you look at a map of America and then you look northwest to Alaska and then you continue west to that little chain of islands that heads across towards Russia, well, right now we're kind of most of the way across there. Like almost halfway to Russia from Alaska. It's just immensely far from Anchorage. We're 2.5 hours west of Anchorage down this island chain, and we're only about sort of 2/3 of the way across the Aleutian Islands at this. Isn't that incredible? Of course, I live in Texas, which is the 2nd largest state in the US. We think we're the largest, and I always joke that we're the largest inhabited state, because although Alaska is like twice the size of Texas, nobody lives in most of it. It's all just mountains and stuff. So, but it's just beautiful nonetheless, and the scale of it is just immense, really. Oh, I don't know if this is my hotel or not. Just up here, the Grand Aleutian is where I'm staying. Is that it? There's no phone signal whatsoever, by the way, here. This is why I'm guessing. I remember looking at the directions, and it said I had to walk for 17 minutes down this road, and I've been walking right now for 15.5 minutes. So is this the Grand Aleutian Hotel? Without Apple Maps, I am screwed. What does that say on the sign? The Grand Aleutian. Is it an optical illusion, or is that the Grand Aleutian? I did a thing without maps, without sat nav or anything. I found my way through a very remote town. When I got to the hotel, it turned out there was a shuttle bus after all, and guess what? Now I'm stuck behind everyone else who was sensible and took it. I do love being efficient. Hello, how you doing? Just check it, please. Thank you.
Did you need to purchase anything?
Yeah, please. So yep, you still have to pay for Wi-Fi at this hotel.
So the internet is $15 for 24 hours.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
You want to just attach it to the room?
Please, thank you.
This will be your token for the internet.
Okay, cool.
Grand Aleutian Guest is the name of the Wi-Fi.
Amazing, thank you.
And it's going to be the entire code, including the 24.
Okay, including the 24. Perfect. Amazing.
You can take this elevator down the hall to the left.
All right, thank you. All right, here we are, the Grand Aleutian. Finally checked in. There was a shuttle. I could have just had the shuttle. Never mind. All right, here we are, the Grand Aleutian Hotel. It's the only hotel I think here in Dutch Harbour. Anyway, it's $200 a night, but and it's kind of basic, but you know what? It's for one night, and if it's the only place that there is, Well, it beats trying to sleep outside or something, doesn't it? I mean, it's kind of the only other option you've got, really. But there's the view out there. Look at that beautiful view out across the bay with the mountains in the background. We've got a bed in here. I'm going to have a bit of a wander around the town of Dutch Harbour. We'll see what's here, and then we'll come back and grab a bite to eat, I reckon. And so I decided to head downstairs in search of something a little bit more uplifting than my room. The bar had a proper Alaskan vibe, fishing gear on the walls, a few salty sea dogs nursing beers, and me just happy to be on dry land. I ordered the fish and chips because when you're in the fishing capital of America, well, you order the fish and paired it with a nice pint of Denali beer. Spoiler alert, the beer was excellent. The fish though, let's find out. Alright, fish and chips. You cannot come to Alaska without eating fish and chips. And what better place to get fish and chips than America's largest fishing port. I would hope this is decent fresh fish. Let's try it. Holy wow. I haven't tasted fish and chips this good probably since I was in Shirebrook. Those of you around Mansfield will know what I'm talking about. Shirebrook chippy. This isn't quite Shirebrook chippy level of fish and chips, but it's still pretty damn good. Alright, let's go and have a little wander around the town of Dutch Harbour, Alaska, and see what's here. So Dutch Harbour then, you might have seen it on TV. If you've seen the TV show Deadliest Catch, which they used to show on Dave when I lived in the UK, I don't know if they still do. Dutch Harbour is a massive fishing port. In fact, not only is it a big fishing port, it is the biggest fishing port in the whole of the US. There's a lot of crab here. They fish for crabs. And right now, the time of year I'm here is the beginning of the fishing season for crabs. So the boats are all starting to get ready to go out into the Bering Strait and the North Pacific Ocean to go and catch all the crab. But it's crazy, the whole town is basically set up around fishing. So I think I've stumbled on where all the fishermen live in these sorts of buildings here down by the docks. And if we go down here towards the actual dock itself, you can see all the fishing boats here, all the crab ships ready to go out into the rough seas of the Bering Strait and the North Pacific to go and catch some crabs and bring them home. Dutch Harbour's not just a destination, it's a place people come to for work, often for months at a time. I bumped into this guy from Kentucky who's here working in one of the fish processing plants. So you're working up here in Dutch Harbour, you do fishing or something, or? Oh, okay, cool.
I was in King Cove before this.
So they process the fish and stuff up here as well and do stuff like that. Amazing. Now, I've only ever seen a couple of episodes of Deadliest Catch, so I'm not entirely sure about all the lore that goes behind it. I think there's a boat called the Northwestern, which I don't see here in the harbour at the minute. Maybe it's out catching crabs as we speak, I don't know. It's in the evening here, it's sort of 8 o'clock at night here, still broad daylight. Never gets dark in the middle of summer here. Yeah, just, it's incredible to be somewhere like this. And to see all the whole town, all of these buildings, by the way, at the side of the docks, these are all lodging facilities for all of the fishermen who come up here to work. And they come and live in these apartment buildings here, and then they just have a short commute across the street to come and, well, start going fishing for crabs, really. Literally everybody staying in the hotel that I'm in is something to do with the fishing industry, and they're all talking about what boat they're on and when they're going to go out and fish and stuff like that. It's crazy. Such a buzz about this town for somewhere that's so far out of in the middle of nowhere. There's such a massive buzz around this place. It's just amazing. I think I've got to go back to my hotel now and watch some Deadliest Catch. I feel I'm missing out. This happens a lot, you know, by the way. The amount of times I go somewhere that's featured in some major documentary or something and then I've never actually watched it, like Breaking Bad. I went to New Mexico, I'd never seen an episode of Breaking Bad, and of course I had to learn all about the industry going on in New Mexico. So I had to start watching that. Same with Walking Dead in Georgia, really. Well, good morning from Dutch Harbour, Alaska. The next morning, it was time to head back to the airport. I had quite a nice night's sleep actually here in the Grand Aleutian Hotel. And now it's time to head back to the airport. The plane is on its way from Anchorage. It's just taken off and heading down here. It's about 2.5 hours away. The weather isn't looking too bad. It's a bit cloudy. I'm a little bit worried that the plane might not be able to get in, but the clouds actually aren't too bad. They're like 2,500 foot, so we might be, fingers crossed, might be okay, as long as it doesn't get any worse. Let's head downstairs And this time we'll take a shuttle bus back to the airport, I think, rather than walking it. Hey, good morning, how are you?
How are you?
Good, thanks. Good, thank you. Just want to check out, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Just on email is good, if that's okay.
So in 5 minutes,
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, lovely. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
thank you so much, sir.
All right.
In 5 minutes, okay?
All right, yeah, awesome. Thank you. See ya. Thank you. Cheers. So, lesson learned, I'm on the shuttle bus this morning back to the airport. No heroic marches through town, just warm seats and minimal effort. Hey. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Thank you. Hi there. Checking in for Anchorage.
Any bag to check in?
No, just carry on,
Carry on.
please.
Can I wait?
You can, yeah. Thank you.
I'll see you at 11.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, then I'm all checked in for my flight. I'm here. All the passengers are here. We're just waiting for the plane to show up now. Hopefully it will be here soon. What a nice little airport this actually. It's like pretty much a shed. But it's kind of what you'd expect for kind of remote Alaska, really. I think there's a little cafe. They ain't open yet at this time of the morning. It's only like 9 a.m. So who knows? But we've got a nice view of the runway, so hopefully we'll see the plane arriving pretty soon. There's not much to do at Dutch Harbour Airport once you've checked in, unless you count watching the plane land right past the wreckage of the previous plane crashes. Always comforting. As the passengers step off and the mail gets offloaded though, everything from fishing gear to what looks suspiciously like a pizza box, well, it's our turn next. Time to hop on board and see if we can get back off this island in one piece. Morning, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. My flight back to Anchorage then took me east across the Aleutians. Flight time today, 2 hours and 9 minutes, cruising at 31,000 feet. Alright then, airborne from Dutch Harbour, heading back to Anchorage, about the 2.5 hour flight. We're going to be cruising 31,000 feet today in a turboprop. For me, that's pretty much unheard of. Turboprops don't usually get anywhere near that sort of cruising altitude, but this is a very long flight, 2.5 hours on a Saab 2000, heading back east along the islands all the way up to Anchorage. What an amazing place Dutch Harbour was, and Unalaska, that whole sort of area was just beautiful. Really enjoyed my time down there. What an absolute adventure, and I'm so blessed that I get to see these parts of the world that so many people don't ever get to see, or if they do, only through the likes of watching Deadliest Catch on TV. And actually to go there and see these remote places, just, it's amazing. And that's the thing, most people will only ever see places like Dutch Harbour through a TV screen in the background of a stormy crab fishing episode or a map graphic on the Weather Channel. But to actually go there, to walk around, to meet the people who live and work in these far-flung corners of the world, well, it's really something special. From this far up it all looks so remote, so wild, and yet for a lucky few it's just another day at the office. I'll never stop being grateful though for moments like this. And just like that, we were back in civilization. Anchorage appeared beneath us, a proper city skyline, highways, traffic, all looking a little bit surreal after the raw isolation of Dutch Harbour. We made a low sweeping approach right over the city, with the mountains in the distance and the runway dead ahead. A pretty cool way to end the journey if you ask me. So then my round trip to Dutch Harbour cost me $1,782, which works out to just over $1 per mile. Sure, it's not cheap, but when you're flying to the edge of the world and back through some of the most spectacular scenery on planet Earth, yeah, I'd say it's worth it. Thank you. Alright then, welcome back to Anchorage International Airport. What an amazing trip that was over to Dutch Harbour. Honestly, if ever you've got a day or two free in this part of the world and you want to do something cool, head across there. What an amazing little trip that was. And plus, not only was it a cool airport, but also you get to ride on a Saab 2000. You can't really beat that, can you? Anyway, I'm off back inside. I've got another plane to catch now. So in the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.